Have you ever thought about your daily routine and what you're doing to your body? Have you ever thought about how exhaling cigarette smoke not only is making you a step closer to dying, but your bystanders as well? Did you know that about 1,200 Americans die from smoking every day? Think about that for a second. 1,200 people in this country every day, and it's a result of something that all of us can avoid. You might as well consider smoking a suicidal attempt, because if you keep it up, it will eventually kill you. Is that really how you want to live your life? People claim that they know what they're doing to themselves, and that they know the harmful effects of smoking. If that's the case, why do they still do it? Are the facts not enough? It has been continuously proven that smoking is extremely harmful, and even deadly, to not only the smoker, but to other people nearby. Through various sources, I can prove to you how harmful smoking is to your body, and give you some information that you probably never heard before. As I mentioned earlier, people claim that they know what smoking does to their body. But do they really know? Smoking brings about diseases that are for the most part incurable, but preventable if they stop smoking. There are three main diseases that smoking causes that I guarantee would make even the most frequent smoker think about for a little while. These diseases are cancer, heart disease, and lung diseases such as emphysema and chronic bronchitis. According to eHealth, smoking is responsible for 30% of all heart attacks, 30% of all cancer deaths, 87% of lung cancer deaths each year, and 82% of deaths from emphysema and chronic bronchitis. If those statistics aren't enough to make you want to never consider even going near tobacco smoke, then you must not value life enough. And if you think that smoking doesn't harm anything else, you're very wrong. Smoking delays the healing of peptic ulcers, causes chronic pain in the legs, causes wrinkling of the skin, and can bring about an earlier menopause in women, up to 5 years. It also reduces women's fertility, impairs erections, and accelerates the rate of osteoporosis. Not to mention, a woman who smokes during pregnancy runs a much higher risk of miscarriage, premature birth, and losing her baby before its first birthday. The list of harmful effects goes on, and I could spend all day standing here talking about the different ways that tobacco can damage your body. What makes smoking even worse is that it affects people nearby who are inhaling the smoke without actually taking a puff of that cigarette. Many or all of you have probably heard about secondhand smoke and probably know that it's harmful. What you may not know is that secondhand smoke is also called involuntary smoking, and that non-smokers who breathe this in also take in the nicotine and other toxic chemicals that the smokers do. Making the choice to be a non-smoker is definitely the right one, but being around people when they're smoking is pretty much just as bad. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, about 46,000 non-smokers die from heart disease each year as a result of secondhand smoke. In addition to this, secondhand smoke causes 3,400 people to die from lung cancer each year. Are you kidding me? You don't even have to be a smoker yourself, and you're still at risk for dying from the toxins contained in the smoke. What I'm wondering is how many people are going to die from smoking, whether you're actually smoking yourself or not, before the world will realize that it needs to stop, if we ever do. How many times do you see people driving down the street with a cigarette hanging out of the window and a child in the back seat? Every time they bring that cigarette into the car to take a puff, some smoke floats around the vehicle and clings onto seats and the insides of the windows. That little child in the back seat is inhaling deadly toxins just like its parent. People have at least started to smoke outdoors rather than in their own house, but that still doesn't stop their families from inhaling secondhand smoke. Over time, the people within the house will get used to the smell of smoke, and eventually won't even know it's there. Little do they know that it follows the smoker into the house and clings onto the furniture that their kids watch TV on for several hours a day. I just can't figure out why people still smoke nowadays. I understand that nicotine is addictive, and people claim that they can't stop. However strong that addiction may be, I refuse to believe that people can't stop. I know for a fact that at least one person in this world has successfully quit smoking and never tried it again. My psychology teacher at my high school, now in his 70s, was a frequent smoker for years. He told my class how he was able to talk to some psychiatrists about his addiction, and within a few days of treatment, he never felt the urge to touch another cigarette. He is living proof that it's possible to quit smoking, so for all of you smokers out there, it's not too late to quit. For everyone out there who doesn't smoke, I am begging you to stay that way. Remember, people don't think about the long-term effects of smoking while they're doing it. They're just concerned with how their anxiety will decrease after that cigarette is finished. And believe me, there are much better alternatives to smoking that will decrease your anxiety. I hope that after hearing this speech, all of you will have a better understanding of how deadly smoking is and why you shouldn't do it. Not only is smoking harmful to you, but it's harmful to people around you, and most people don't realize that. I hope some of the facts I've listed have really opened your eyes and made you think that you either shouldn't do it or should stop as soon as possible. Live a healthy life. Don't smoke.